Reactivity and aggression do not just go away. Oh, and before I forget, if you want more no-nonsense dog training tips, click the subscribe button below. When dogs learn behavior, or when they're naturally disposed to them, those neuropathways get built. That doesn't mean your dog is doomed, and that doesn't mean your dog can't improve. It just means you need to be honest with the dog that you're working with. You can build over those pathways and build new ones. You can teach your dog what you do want them to do and what you don't want them to do. But those original behaviors are still there. They don't just completely vanish. And if you want long-term success with your dog, you need to understand that. Because if you pretend your dog doesn't have those feelings that led to them displaying those behaviors, you're just building on sand. If you want long-term success with your dog, you need to give them an outlet for those behaviors. This is the bit that people miss. They want their dog to stop feeling frustrated, they want to stop their dog being aggressive, and they want their dog to stop being reactive. But their dog will always still have those underlying feelings. The dog still has that drive, and those tendencies will always sit there. So owners need to stop thinking about how can I stop those behaviors to thinking how can I give my dog an outlet for those feelings. I look at reactivity and aggression a bit like a sink. Every bit of frustration, every bit of pressure, and every bit of conflict, every trigger they see, every moment they can't access what they want, that starts filling up their sink. So if we just keep letting their sink fill and fill, it will eventually overflow. The overflow is what you see on a walk. The overflow is what you see at the fence. The overflow is what you see when your dog goes from manageable to completely gone. It's not just standing there with a towel trying to clean it up every time it overflows. The answer is giving the sink a drain. You need to give your dog somewhere to put those feelings, somewhere for that energy to go, and somewhere for those behaviors to outlet in a way that you can control. Because if you don't give them that, they will find places to outlet it. And most of the time, owners don't like where that ends up. My dog Ellie is a really good example of this. She's naturally a very frustrated dog. That's just part of her. So if I act shocked every time I saw frustration from her, then I would be stupid. I know who she is and I know what's in there. So for me, it's important to give her the opportunity to outlet those feelings somewhere I can control it. Not on another dog, not at the end of the lead, not in a random moment where life gets messy. I want to bring it out in a controlled situation. I want to choose when it happens, and I want to choose what goes into it, and I want to choose how it ends. A lot of owners are accidentally meeting their dogs at overflow. I would rather meet before that. I would rather bring it out properly and with rules, and in a place where I can actually do something with it. This is why structured play is such an essential part to life with our dogs. When I say structured play, I don't mean mindless play. I don't mean winding your dog up and hoping for the best. I don't mean chucking a toy around aimlessly and just mucking about. I mean play with rules. I mean when I can bring a dog up into arousal and when I can bring them back down out of arousal. Because if you can't do both, then it's not structured. It's just chaos. With dogs that are reactive, aggressive, or frustrated, or naturally intense, uncontrolled chaos is the last thing you need. This is where your engage cue and out cue matter. You need an engage cue so your dog understands, yes, now you can come alive. Now you can go into the game. Now you can grab, bite, pull, chase, and fight for it. And then you need an out cue so your dog understands enough. So that way you can bring them back down and to come out of that arousal state. And that provides control. If you're going to use play properly, you need to be able to say yes and mean it, and say out and mean it. And that is where structure lives. So you shouldn't just be continuously playing with your dog just to tire them out. You need to give your dog controlled outlet for the behaviors that are already there. It gives their frustration somewhere to go. It gives their intensity somewhere to go. And it gives their aggression somewhere to go. You're not just letting your dog rehearse chaos. You're teaching your dog how to move through arousal. If your dog only knows how to go up but doesn't know how to come back down, then you haven't built anything useful. You're just building a bigger problem. Playing without control will just release the beast. It will grow the beast, but it won't empower you to control the beast. For a lot of aggressive and reactive dogs, it's all about better handling, better structure, and better outlet. Once you have this and you've taught your dog these skills, this is what's going to give you long-term and sustainable results. So no, reactivity and aggression don't just disappear. We can help build over them, and you can teach better patterns. You can absolutely improve the dog in front of you, but if you really want those long-term sustainable results, you need to give your dog an outlet. Build structure around it, use an engage cue, use an out cue, and stop waiting for the overflow before you do something about it.